Hello and welcome to our webinar. Getting started, upload your contacts and send your first email in Constant Contact. Thank you for joining today and welcome to Constant Contact. Today, we'll be walking through how to upload your contacts, create an email, send an email, and navigate your account. If you would like to log into your own account to follow along, feel free. It can be helpful to have two screens in that case, so you can have the webinar up on one and your account next to it to follow along. If you notice that the webinar is going too fast, or if you'd like to just sit back and watch for now, or don't have two screens, that's okay. We will send you a recording afterwards, so you can always pause, skip, rewind, and follow along later after the session. I will note if you're logged in on mobile, that is a great option for time-saving tasks, but today we will be in the desktop version, so it can be helpful to log in there in order to follow along. But either way, I'm happy you're here, so let's go ahead and dive in. Now, I do want to introduce myself. My name's Caitlin. I'm a content manager of webinars here at Constant Contact. I have been here about 12 years, so I have a lot of experience with the platform, with email and digital marketing. I'm excited to bring my experience to the session and show you how to get started. If you have any questions throughout the session today, you'll notice on the right side of your screen a Q&A window. Go ahead and type in any question you have there, and you should get an immediate answer. Otherwise, let's go ahead and look at our agenda and see more specifically what we're going to cover today. First, we'll talk about how to upload your contacts. There's various ways to do it, so we'll be able to walk through those together. And then we'll look at creating and sending your first email. We'll put together a master template and then look at how to fill in our content and send that out. And then along the way, we will be navigating the account and showing you a few of the basics. So with all that in mind, let's go ahead and dive in to our live account and get started. All right, let's go ahead and get started with contacts. Uploading contacts is a good place to start because you can't send an email until you have people to send it to. Whether you have a large list or even a small list, getting some contacts into the account can really help you get the ball rolling with your email marketing. To start this process, I'm going to go ahead and click on Contacts here on the left side. One quick note, this left navigation bar is in the process of being updated. Most of you will see the version I have here, but if you have a navigation bar at the top of your account, if the wording is slightly different here on the left, that's okay. You have all of the same options. You just might find something under a different drop-down or labeled slightly differently. Now to upload contacts, I'm going to click here on Add Contacts in the top right, and then you can see the different options that we have. I'm going to quickly go to the integrations first, just to point out that if you are using a third-party program, a CRM, an e-commerce platform, any other application, we may have an integration for that. So some of the more common ones are listed here. You can click View All, or even come to the Integrations tab here on the left to see the different options. Constant Contact also has a mobile app you can download from Google Play or the Apple App Store. Just search for Constant Contact. That free app also allows you to upload contacts from your phone, which is super helpful. But if you aren't finding an integration, if you aren't using a third-party program, that's okay. We have a few other really easy ways to upload contacts into your account. And let's start with the Upload from File option. So I'm going to click here to import a file. This is good for if you don't have an integration. Most programs at least let you export your contacts to a spreadsheet, and then that you can upload. Or if you're not using any outside program, but compile your contacts into a spreadsheet, that's a very easy way to upload them as well. Let me show you this file here. This is what we're going to upload. This has all of my information in different columns. So at a minimum, I just need an email address column. And then any other additional information I have for my contacts, I do recommend uploading because you can use it for segmentation and personalization in the future. But just make sure it's in a separate column. It's helpful to have each of the columns labeled. But then from there, what we can do is click here where it says upload, find the file, and then continue. And then it has scanned the file for the information. So here on the left, where it says File column, these are all the labels I had in my spreadsheet. So it is helpful to label them because then you can easily see what data is in each column. This preview data shows the first 2 rows of your spreadsheet. So it'll show what information you had in that column, which then makes it easy to indicate what constant contact field should be assigned to this information. Now, our system is pretty good about locating that information for you and then matching it up for us already, but it is good to review. So these are first names. Constant Contact labeled it as first name, so that's perfect. And then I just keep going down the list. The only one I need to update, it looks like, is this favorite food. So we're a restaurant. We've asked our customers what their favorite food is, and we want to add that with the rest of their contact information. That's not a standard field in Constant Contact, so it tried to match something up for us. It put job title, but what I'm going to do is actually create a custom field. Click on that, and then call it favorite food, which it even filled that in for us, which is helpful. So the custom fields can either be a single line of text, which is what we'll use, but you can also do multiple lines of text, even different options, single select, multiple select. These are things you can also add on to sign-up forms. But to keep it simple, we're just labeling this favorite food. Add that field. Now that's saved in the account, so we can use it in the future. But then I can click continue. The final step is to check the box to confirm that I have permission to email my contacts. Constant Contact does require that you have permission to send to your contacts. If you have any questions on what that entails, you can click this word permission here to bring up the FAQ. Feel free to ask in the Q&A as well if you have any questions. We need either them to have given you express permission to email them, or if they've given you their email address in any way for a business transaction or from them doing business with you in the past, or you've emailed back and forth before, that's considered implied permission. Now I want to choose what list I want to save them to. By default, it is going to put them in my contacts list, but I can create a new list as well. So I can close that, and I'm going to create something new. I'm going to say barbecue promotion list. We're a barbecue restaurant, so we're building a list of our customers that want to hear from us about promotions. So now that that's there, all I have to do is click import, and it will bring these in. Usually it's pretty quick. Sometimes can take a minute or two if you have a very large list of contacts, but otherwise, here's my barbecue promotion list. We have 10 contacts in there. I can click on that list to see who they are, and there we go. We already have 10 contacts. Now, let's add a few more. So let me click back up to contacts. Our import is complete. We can close that out. And now I want to add, I'm going to do this add multiple contacts. Now this option is good for if you have more than one contact, but maybe they're not saved in a spreadsheet. This is good for a handful of people. I wouldn't do this for a very large group of people, but just people, whether you have a list typed out somewhere else on your computer that you can copy and paste, or if you just want to type them in one by one and do several at a time. This page allows you to add additional fields. So email address, first name, last name. I can come to manage fields. I could even do the favorite food that I just added. I could do birthday, and then I would just go through and type each one. With this, I do recommend don't do too many. It's a lot of work to type them all out one by one. You don't want to step away and have your account time out on you and come back and lose all your work. Maybe you stick to 5 to 10 this way. If you have more than that, maybe type them into an Excel file and then you can save that on your computer and upload it when you're ready. But I'm actually going to there's another option here, paste names and emails. This is even easier. You can't do anything additional to first name, last name, and email address. However, what I can do then is take this, I just have like a notepad, a file of some email addresses. I copied and pasted out of somewhere. So I can copy this, come back here, paste it, and then continue. And my list just had email addresses, but I can do first name and last name along with that. And then this is the same thing, confirm I have permission. Let's add them onto that same barbecue promotion list and then import. And now we're up to 22. So we're building a nice little list here. Let's look at the final option, add contacts. I'm just going to add a single contact. Now this is literally for just one contact. Maybe you collected a business card from them while you're at a networking event, or someone just reached out to you and said, hey, add me to your list. It really is just for one. So in this case, I could type in their email address. So let's just type one in here. All right. And then confirm we have permission. I can even add in their SMS text phone number if I wanted. I can do that when I'm uploading a file as well. But otherwise, maybe this is Jack Smith. And when I click add or remove fields, I can keep going. I can keep adding any additional information I have, especially favorite food is in here again, anything else I want to do. And then add to list, barbecue promotion list. We'll add him on there and then save it. And now we've added Jack into the list. So those are the main ways to add contacts. Once you get a good list of contacts together, whether it's small, whether it's large, now we are ready to create and send an email to this group of people. In order to get started with that, I do want to set up some branding first. We have something in Constant Contact called our brand kit. It's located here under Assets, Brand Kit. This is a way to save your colors, logo, and some pictures that can be used across all your different emails that you create. And then it matches your branding and you don't have to change the colors every time because it's already saved in your account. There's a couple ways to set this up. I can manually add the logo, some colors, even a few images, or even easier, I can have it scan my website. So let's do that. With this, it looks for a logo, locates all the colors. If there's any pictures on that page, it'll bring those in as well. This isn't the only place or time to upload pictures. You can do it at any point as you're working on your email, but this is just a good way to get the ones off your website into your account. And then what I'm going to do is kind of pick and choose what I want to save for my branding, my theme. So I'm going to uncheck, I don't need the logo twice. I don't need all these different shades of black, but I think the rest look good. I like that orange and the tan. Here on the right side is where I can start to play around with different combinations of these colors. Mine are all pretty close to each other. There's dark options as well. Let's go with that one. Looks pretty good. I can even get more specific and come into here and add any specific colors that I want. And the scanned colors are in here now too, which is helpful. Then I'll continue on. We can make a few more tweaks and adjustments if we want. I do need to save my logo here. So I'm going to click on where it says logo, click add logo, and it is in my account. It did upload, so I just need to insert that. Come back to my new theme. Now that's in there. And then anything else I want to tweak, maybe this feature layout background. I like the tan for that. Maybe there's a color I want to add that wasn't scanned, like this brown in the logo. If I want to incorporate that, I can add any custom colors I want by clicking here, click advanced. And if I have the hex value of that color, I can add that in there. So this is looking pretty good. So this is just giving us a little bit of a preview of what our future emails will look like that we create. So now that we have our branding set up, we are ready to create an email. That is going to be found under the channels and emails. All right, let's go ahead and click create an email and we can dive in. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to use our template picker to choose a template, a branded template. Now that we have our branding set up, we have all these templates with my particular brand, but I'm going to choose one that I want to create as a master template. So I'm going to get one with a general layout that's going to give me a good starting point. I'll customize it even further so that it's the perfect outline for the content I'm planning to send. And then I'll be able to save this in my account as my own personal master template that I can then continue to use moving forward when I send an email. So, like I said, we have branded templates to choose from, but we do also have many others. So our industry is a restaurant, so there's many restaurant options it's showing us. And a lot of times we have featured ones. There's different holidays, newsletters. You can search. There's a search bar there. And I do also want to point out this convert from PDF option. There is a way to upload a PDF file into Constant Contact and send it out. The way it works is it'll convert the first page of the PDF to an image. It'll drop that image into a template. Then it'll insert a button that links to the full file. It'll add usually a text box and your logo. And from there, you can customize it however else you want and send it out that way. You do need to be a little bit careful when you're going this route because if you're sending an email that's one big image and nothing else, sometimes it can go to spam. So that's why we encourage you to add an additional text box in there. Make sure you have a button linking to your call to action. Just balance out that content a little bit so that it doesn't go to spam. But otherwise, that's the process you would go through there. If you have created something in Canva, it's kind of the same thing. Export that into a PDF from Canva, and then you'd follow this process as well. But with all that, I do recommend using the Constant Contact templates if you haven't designed anything yet because they're very easy to use. So I'm going to look through these branded templates and find something that's close to what I want my content to be. And that's what you'll want to think about too. Are you doing a newsletter? Are you doing events, promotions, announcements? Find something close. And then I'm going to go with this one called card. And then you'll select it. If you're following along, you don't have to choose the same one as me. But this one I think works well for just setting up a master template and getting a nice, concise, strong email put together. So the first thing I'm going to do now that I have my template pulled up here is, first of all, you'll notice it's branded. So it has all that branding I set up. Really, all I need to do is rearrange this, get it the way I want, and then save it, and then fill in my content and send it out. So the very first step is to give this a name. So that's here in the top left. Only you will see this, but you want to label it appropriately so you know which one this is. So I'm going to call this Jack's Barbecue Master Template Draft. And save that. Okay. So now, working through our design here, I want to move this logo up to the top. I think having the logo at the top really helps make the email recognizable right away. People will open up your email and know exactly who the email is from if they see your logo. To move any block in a template, what you'll do is hover over it, get your mouse on this little 4-arrowed icon, click, hold down, and drag it up. So now the logo is at the top. Now, one thing I highly recommend is to make all your images clickable links. So, especially the logo, if people click on the logo, you can have them go directly to your website, and it's a really easy way to drive traffic to your site. To link up the logo, you'll click on it. Over here on the left, there's different ways I can edit and modify this image, but I'm just going to go ahead and click here to add a link to a web page. And then I would just copy and paste in my website. So paste that in there, insert, and that's good to go. The next thing I highly recommend for your email template is a supporting image. Images help bring your marketing communications to life. They grab readers' attention, and pictures really are worth 1,000 words. So in my case, I have a placeholder here. This is perfect. For the sake of my master template, I'm going to leave this placeholder here. And then this is something I'll just replace every time with a picture that's relevant to my message. If your template doesn't have an image placeholder and you want to add one in there, you're going to find that here under the blocks. So all of these options here are things I can click and drag into this template, including an image block. So I'm going to click, hold down my mouse, drag, and you'll notice this pink line shows up. So this is where I can drop it. And then there's a placeholder there. But I don't need both, so if I want to delete anything, I would just hover over the block and click the trash can. All right, the next thing I want to add is a headline. Here under the layouts on the left, there's a couple different options I can choose from. Let's add both. So I'll click and drag in this heading and click and drag in this heading. And you can see the difference. One has a background color and one doesn't. I'll stick with this one so we can delete this one out here. A headline is really important to just draw people into your message. They can get an idea right away what the email is about and what content they are about to read. After the headline, it's always a good idea to have a paragraph for the body text. If you don't have a text box in here or want to add an additional text box to your template, that is here at the top. Click, drag, drop that in. And that looks good. And since this is my master template, I'm just leaving all the default text for now. We'll be filling this out later. Now, you may notice we have something in here called a spacer. This is just blank space to help you space out your design. It can be really helpful in making things look nice. Sometimes it's too much space though, So in my case, there's a few different spacers. I'm just going to delete those out. We'll delete that and that. So that's looking good. Next on the list for your email design is you want to have a clear call to action. Every email should have a goal. You should be asking them or directing them to do something that meets your goal. A button is a really good way to set up your call to action. So this is something here from the left. You can click and drag in. And then you would link this up to whatever call to action you have. Is there a place on your website you want them to go? Are you wanting them to register for an event, read an article? The possibilities are endless. So I have my button in there. I don't need both, so I'll delete that one, delete that extra space. So this is starting to really look good. Just a few more things to add to my master template before we save it and fill in our content is I want to add a section kind of towards the bottom here with some contact information. Now down here at the very bottom, we have this footer. This is in every constant contact template. It'll have your address. If it doesn't, you'll need to click into there and fill that out before you send it. But I want to have an actual block at the bottom of my email, the body of my email that has my contact information, phone number, hours, things like that. And then this is a block I'll just always leave there at the bottom, and it'll make it really easy for them to have that contact information handy to reach out to me. So this you can kind of design however you want, although I like using this feature article block. So let's drag that in, put it there. And then I don't need this image placeholder, so I will click and delete that. Although if you're in real estate or you use like a headshot, you could put your headshot in that little placeholder. That would look nice. And then I am just going to copy and paste in the business info. So I click into the text box, I highlight, delete, paste. And then all of my text editing tools are here at the top. So I can do things like center it. I could bold the business name and many other things. Font, size, underline, and then even on the left side, there's a lot of tools as well. I will say, as you're creating your first email, don't get hung up on all of these little design options that we have. There's a lot of options to an email design, but really keeping it simple as you're getting started is my recommendation. Okay, so we have that info. That looks good. I do also want to provide some links to my website and social media. And my template has this nice little block here that I'm going to use. If your template doesn't have it or you want to add it back, you would do this social follow option. And it looks like that. So I'll actually delete this one. And we can drag that up, have it a little bit closer. I could even drag it into the block there. I think that looks good. And then I don't need this text box either. So we'll delete some of this out. And I'm going to click into here now. Click Edit at the top. And now I can choose the icon I want for my social media buttons. You'll see all sorts of options here. I'll just stick with this though. And then social pages, this is where you put in the actual link. So this is very important to do in your master template. If you do it here, then it's all set up. And every time you use this template, it'll already be in there. So let's add Facebook. I'm just going to do a copy and paste. Instagram. Let me grab that link here. Paste that, and website. Looks like that's already in there. Now, there's other options too. X, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok, Google My Business, all sorts of things. But I'm going to stick with Facebook, Instagram, and then this little icon for my website. And then when I arrow back, that's looking pretty good here. And I think I'm pretty much set for my master template. Now, definitely think about your content, your goals, what sort of outline you want to have for your own emails as you're sending and making your email marketing plans. I'm keeping mine pretty simple, just so I have a way to drive them towards a call to action. But if you're doing a newsletter, if you have additional content to share, if you're planning on sending 2 or 3 articles at once, definitely take these layouts and click and drag in whatever you need into your template. You can definitely add more content if you need to. Now, another section we need to edit is our email settings. So let's dive into that. This is all the stuff that they're going to see in their inbox before they even open the email. So it's going to be the subject line, the pre-header, which is a line of text after or beneath the subject line in the inbox. The from name. Now this you want to make sure you have set up in your master template to be something that's recognizable. Usually the business name is best. So just make sure the correct name's in there. And then if it's from someone recognizable, they're more likely to open it. And then your from address, that's who it's going to look like it's coming from. The reply to email address it can be different. That would be if they click reply on the email, who it would go to. Maybe you have a separate inbox you need to monitor for replies. You can do that. Now, if your email address isn't in here, you may need to authenticate it. So you can click add another email and it'll walk you through. If you're using an email address from a domain, your own domain, there's a few authentication steps you need to go through. If you have a free email address like Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, those types of things, Constant Contact will rewrite the address for you. You can personalize it and then it'll be authenticated for receiving email programs to accept. But this looks good. For the sake of my master template, I don't need to edit the subject line and pre-header yet. We'll just leave the default text in there, save it, and now we are done. So what we're going to do now is actually save this. We're going to save this in our templates so that every time we send an email, this will be available to us. So it is already saved. It always auto saves as you go along. If you want to click save one more time up here at the top, you can. And then I'm going to go back here to my campaigns. Now you can see the draft we made. In order to save this into my templates, I will click the 3 dots and it's just right here, save as template. We can give it a name, Jack's Barbecue, master templates, save it there, and now it's in our templates. So at this point, we are set. We have our master template. We are ready to send an email. So let's say Jack from Jack's Backyard Barbecue has a brisket promotion going on. He needs to send an email. He's going to come into his account, click create a campaign, email. Because we have this template already set up, we select it just right here. So you can see now there's a saved section. And you can have multiple saved templates too. So maybe this is our promotional template. Maybe we have a second template that's for like newsletter, like news updates. Maybe we even have a third one that's for like events that we're hosting. You can definitely have more than one. But I'm going to select this template. Now this is opening up as a brand new draft. So this is separate from the other one we worked on. We'll want to name it Jack's Barbecue brisket promo, let's say, and save that. So what's really great about this is because we spent some time setting this up, all we have to do is add our picture, paragraph, and call to action, and we're set. So starting with the picture, I'm going to click here on images. I think the quickest way to add an image is just come to this tab. You can upload images from here if you haven't uploaded any yet, or a lot of times images come in from the brand kit, but not always. And then to add that image, you'll click, drag, drop. And I dragged it on top of that placeholder to just switch it out there. Then we have the headline. So what you're going to want to do here is add just a little bit of text talking about what are we offering? What are you trying to accomplish? Now, a lot of times I actually like to write this after the body text so that I can pull something out of here and make it a catchy headline. So I'm actually going to edit this first. I'm going to highlight, delete this, and I know I have a brisket promotion I want to send out. But I have a little bit of writer's block. How do I make this sound good? Well, I can write with AI over here. So then I'm going to say, and actually let me copy and paste this in. I have some ideas written out here. So there's a brisket promotion available, buy one, get one free, offer ends Sunday at 9 p.m. I want them to make a reservation. There's different tones. Maybe I want to go enthusiastic. And then when I click create, it'll write up some text for me. And then I can insert it. And then I definitely just want to read through it, make sure it sounds good, make sure it sounds like me, make sure it's accurate. So let's see, it says, get ready to sink your teeth into the most mouth-watering deal of the season, folks. I like that. That's definitely upbeat and enthusiastic. Anything I want to edit, I can just click in here and change. But I think that sounds good. So now let's find something in here to make our headline. I like this. Rally up your friends and family. Or actually, I like this better. This smoking deal is only available until Sunday at 9 p.m. We do want them to know exactly what this email is about. I like that. That's good. Now we just need our call to action. So click on the button. I'm going to add in a link to a web page. Make a reservation. Let's say that's the call to action. And just putting in a website here. Perfect. Now I don't want to forget to make this image a clickable link as well. So I can click here, click web page, and I'm going to make this the same link as the call to action. So now there's two opportunities for them to take the action I want them to take. Now that we have our content filled in, now it's time to start to preview and test and get it ready to send. Now let's come into our email settings and get the subject line and pre-header set up. What's really cool is we even have this built-in tool, recommended subject lines. It's good to do this after you've put the rest of your content in because it'll scan the content and give you some ideas. So BOGO brisket and Sunday at 9 p.m. for the subject line. Pre-header, gather your crew for a feast. BOGO brisket offer ends soon. I like those. Save that. All right, so next is our preview and test. When I click send to test, I get the preview. All the links are live in the preview, so I could go click on everything, make sure it all works. I can see what it looks like on mobile. It's mobile responsive. And then this inbox option is our inbox preview tool. It's an add-on that you can add to your accounts, and it'll show you what the email will look like across various email platforms. So iPhone, Outlook, Android, Gmail, AOL, Android Outlook. So this is a very helpful feature if you're interested in really getting an idea of what it'll look like across all the different email clients. And then you can also send it to yourself. So you can enter up to 5 email addresses, maybe a quick note. If you need an approval, you could say, here's the latest newsletter. Please let me know what you think. And then when you click send a test, it'll send it. You can check it in your inbox, click all the links, make sure it all looks okay, and then you'll be good to go. Once you've tested it and things look good, then we'll continue. And this is where it all comes full circle. This is where we can send this to that list we uploaded earlier. So now I just need to choose, do I want to send it now or schedule it for later? I could always choose a future day, a future time, and then the list, my promotion list there. Confirm all the sender details, the subject line, the pre-header, and then schedule. All right. And we did it. So we uploaded contacts, we created a master template, we filled in our content, and we sent it all out. And we've done our first email in Constant Contact. All right. Before we wrap up, I do want to address some common questions that we get from time to time to just further help you out as you're getting started. So one question we get a lot is about the content and the templates. You may not be running a promotion, you have a newsletter that you want to send out or some articles or updates. And we get asked, how do I send a newsletter? So the process is exactly the same. You'll just want to select a different template. So if we come back here to our campaigns, we'll go to emails. And if we go to create an email here, we'll just want to choose a different option. So the branded templates are still very convenient to use because they'll have all your branding. But instead of choosing the more simple one I went with, you can see there's many other options. There's a few different ones for newsletters. There's a product launch, sale, and you can use any of these for any sort of content. You can modify them however you want. But let's say we go with this informational one here. We select that with our brand. And this, once again, will have all the branding, the logo, the colors, and all of that. But you can see it's laid out a little bit more like a newsletter. There's space for 2 different articles here, and I could keep adding to it as well from the layouts. Maybe I want to add 2 columns. We could click and drag that in. Or there's even a 3-column option. There's a 6-image grid. So all sorts of things you can do. These templates are very flexible. Maybe one month you have a very short newsletter, just delete out everything you don't need and add in what you do need. If you have a longer month with a lot of updates or events or things going on, feel free to keep adding on to it as well. But once you design the template to look like a newsletter or whatever your content is, the rest of the process is exactly the same as we went through. So you're not limited to promotional emails or anything like that. You can really use Constant Contact for any sort of email content you want to send out. Another question we get is, can I attach a document to my email? And I always like to address that because there are different types of links you can add into your email. So usually the most common option is just adding in a link to your website for a call to action to drive traffic to your site or a product or whatever you would like them to do. But if I click here on the button, you can see there's other options as well. I could link to an email address, and then when someone clicks on that button, their email program will open up with an email address to you, is usually how that works. And then document, though, that's where you can link to a document. And then it's kind of like an attachment where if they click on the button, the document will open up for them. The way it works is you would upload the document. So it'd be like you can do a PDF, you can do a Word document, even an Excel file. It will save in the library. So actually the same place that your images are being saved. And because it's hosted in your Constant Contact account, the system assigns a URL to it. And then all you have to do is just select the document you want to link to, insert it, and then when someone clicks on the button, it'll go directly to that document. So that's the best way to do that, is just do that document link. And I'll show you the other options. A couple other good ones are the landing page. So if you've created a sign up landing page, or we even have custom landing pages you can create in Constant Contact, that's another one of our channels. You can link to those automatically in an email and send that out. And the other one I like to point out is phone. So that would be if you want to link to a phone number. The way that works is if someone is reading the email on their smartphone, they can click, you could have the button say call now or contact us or something like that. You put in the phone number link, really just type out what the phone number is. And then when someone clicks on that, it'll open up a call on their phone. A lot of you are probably familiar with that, but that is a way to get that in there. So if you don't have a website, if you don't have like a contact us form online, this is a way to get around that, or a phone call is the best way to reach you. Definitely a good way to put that in as a call to action so that they don't have to dial manually. They can just get in touch with you quickly. So definitely when you're thinking about the call to action, lots of opportunity there, including that document. Another question we get is how to personalize emails. And this is starting to get a little bit more advanced. Personalization can help you be really successful and get people to engage with your content because it looks more personal. It's less like a mass marketing email and more like a message to them. You can personalize the subject line by clicking on email settings up here. And then when you're typing out the subject line, you can click this personalize button. And then you can personalize with any field. So it'll fill in dynamically whatever information you have saved for that contact. First name is a common one. You're just addressing them directly. With ours, we could even do favorite food. Might be fun. And then you could say, come visit us for your favorite dish, and then have their favorite food filled in, something like that. And by the way, you can add emojis to the subject line too while we're looking at this screen. So this isn't for every business. It kind of depends on your own brand and your own voice. But if you want to add that in there, that's an option as well. It's a good attention catcher. And then you can also personalize the body of the email. So if you're in a text box, so you just click into a text box, you can click insert. And then there's actually two options. The contact details will once again fill in with their information based on the contact fields you've uploaded. And a greeting tag is the other one. This is more for just like hello or dear, and then it can fill in with their name. And then you're addressing it directly to them. If it's like a letter or like just a personal message you're sending out to people, that can be really effective as well. So this is the reason why I said, any information you have for someone, upload it, because then you can do fun things like this and get even a little bit more personal and advanced with your messaging and your verbiage to just really engage your audience. And then one final question I want to address that we get a lot is with the contacts. So we uploaded one list. We have a good starter list going. That's who we can email out to right away. But we get asked a lot, can you have multiple lists? Can you target different groups of people? And the question to that, or the answer to that, I should say, is yes. So when you're back over here on the left, if you actually go to this audience section, for the lists and the segments, this is where you can manage your lists. So I could click create new, and then there's two options actually. You can create just another list and then go through and upload. We saw all the different ways to upload contacts. You can also create a new list in the upload process. So you could just get in there, start uploading a file, and then when it asks what list to save it to, type in a new name and it'll create a new list for you. And then segments, this I'll just give a brief overview. We have a whole webinar on segmentation, actually, if you're interested. I'll talk about our resources here in a minute, but you can, based on different criteria, create groups of people that you then email and target. And that's also a really effective way to be successful with your email marketing is through that segmentation. But as you're getting started, keep it pretty basic. Start small. You don't have to do all of this right away. Definitely start with the one list, get that going, and then you can start building different groups of people as well. All right. Before we fully wrap up, I do want to just point out a couple other things in the account. If you go to your dashboard, this is a good place to keep an eye on because it'll have your performance for the past 30 days. It has various recommendations for you of things that could be helpful. Your recent campaigns are here. You can jump in and continue working. Quick actions. You can browse some templates. So great place there to just monitor and launch into your marketing right away. And then this question mark icon is good for just any follow-up questions you have. We have articles, tutorials. Here's where you can access all of our webinars. So we have live webinars on a whole bunch of topics, including segmentation, like I said, and many more. And then there's ways to contact us, to speak directly with someone. There's a phone number. I'll talk about the resources again here in a minute too, but I just wanted to point out that's where they are. Look for that question mark icon and you can jump in and get all those good resources right away. But with that, that is everything. So we can go ahead, hop back to our slides and wrap up. Keep utilizing that Q&A window for the next few minutes if you have any final questions you want to ask, but let's go ahead, jump back in and wrap up today. So at this point, you're ready to take the information you learned today and apply them in your own account. Go ahead and start out by creating that master template. Go into the brand kit, get your branding set up, whether you're scanning your website or doing it manually, and then put together that template that has your logo and those colors and your contact information so that you have something to use consistently moving forward. It's going to save you a ton of time once you have that template created for yourself. You can select it, fill in that content, and get it out the door right away. So get started with that. That's your next step. After you have the master template, go in there, fill in some quick content, and send that out to your contact list. So that's the very first place to start. Upload that list. We looked at various ways to do that. So get a small list, get a large list, doesn't matter. Once you get that in the account, you can create that master template and send it out and be on your way to being successful with Constant Contact. Now, if you would like some feedback on your first email, either before you send it or after, we have an opportunity on our community to get some feedback. So the steps are shown here on the screen. I'm going to do a pop-up right now, and this is a link that will take you to the community. From here, you can click Share Your Campaign Now. It may have you log in to your Constant Contact account, and then you can title your post, write out a brief description on what sort of feedback you're looking for. Are you just looking for overall thoughts on your master templates? Do you need some feedback on maybe your verbiage or wording or the images that you're using? Just whatever you're looking for some help with. And then you can put in either a screenshot of the email or a link if you've sent it. And then when you post that, you'll get a response from one of our experts giving you some feedback, and you can apply that to all your emails moving forward. It's a great opportunity to continue to learn as you're getting started and hear directly from our experts. So definitely take advantage of that. We do also send you this link in the follow-up email that will also include the recording. So if you aren't able to bookmark that now, definitely look for that in the follow-up email afterwards. But from there, just a reminder of all the different resources. I showed you that question mark icon that has the whole knowledge base of FAQs. We have those short tutorial videos. That can be very helpful if you don't want to rewatch this full hour-long webinar again, but rather want a 2 to 3 minute video that just shows a specific portion of the contacts or the email editing process. We have tons of tutorials as well. And then we have more webinars, as I mentioned. Definitely check out, we have 8 topics besides this one. So sign up for any that you're interested in. Even if you can't make it, we'll send you a recording. And then our support team is great. You can call them, you can chat them. Ask a Trainer is another great resource as well. That's a virtual session you can pop into and get that one-on-one training. But other than that, one more quick note, there's a survey that pops up at the end of the webinar once it closes out. So if you don't mind hanging on another 1 to 2 minutes, it's just 4 quick questions. I love reading through everyone's feedback and hearing your thoughts on the session today and just what you think, how it all went. Other than that, thank you so much for joining the session today. Welcome to Constant Contact again, and have a great rest of your day.